disclosure in the workplace is something that's almost the keystone of Sophos philosophy. We've always been pro-disclosure in the social firm, but we fully understand why people don't disclose out in mainstream employment. It can be disadvantageous. Many people fear losing their job, they fear discrimination, and they have experienced stigma before in the wider world, so they know that if they disclose in the workplace, they are going to be treated differently, so they don't disclose. What that unfortunately means, though, when they do have a patch of illness, they haven't put contingency plans in place because they haven't disclosed. And so you can't actually help them, and often they lose their job because it's dealt with as a performance issue rather than an illness issue because there's been no disclosure. In the 3Rs training we've been doing, rights, roles and responsibility, we talk about 3 different levels of disclosure. You can state, I have a medical condition that may affect my job. Short, simple, no need to even mention psychiatric. You can state, I have a medical condition, and then list some of the symptoms that you may experience. I get anxiety, or I may find it difficult working in small spaces, or I may need a break occasionally from work for my illness, still without giving the diagnosis. With that level of disclosure, you really are covered quite well legally without having any worries of the Anti-Discrimination Act. You're covered. You haven't named your diagnosis, which is valuable. Then you can, if you want to, like I do in my consumer work, name your diagnosis. Be even proud of your diagnosis. I am a proud professional paranoid schizophrenic. And to that I go on when I use it in presentations to explain I'm paid to stay well. And I'm paid to be an example to the general population that somebody living with mental illness isn't necessarily crazy. There's plenty of people out there without a diagnosis who I worry about a lot more, who've got their finger on that button. Drop the big one now. Yeah, and they're not diagnosed. Disclosure is a luxury. It's a luxury we can't always afford. I wish people were comfortable disclosing and that the mainstream employers were sympathetic to disclosure and your co-workers wouldn't stigmatise. To remove that stigma in the workplace, we have to remove the stigma in the entire community, in the entire world, so we've got a long way to go.